move on to our informational reports. The first one is a strategic plan update with the draft framework. And I'll just note, apropos of some of our earlier conversations, and in fact some of the public comment, that this strategic plan addresses both academic areas, which and also mental health areas, in addition to safety as well. So, with that, Brian.
So, as we get a chance to engage in this topic tonight, Marlene, I hope you don't mind if I steal your thunder here to celebrate that we actually have 55 members of our Spanish-speaking community currently at Lesher Middle School right now, engaging in dialogue, in collaboration around how to take our draft framework to another level with their voice, their community. So super proud of that. Presenting our strategic plan update this evening, our Chief Equity and Academic Officer, Ms. Marlena Gross-Taylor, and Chief Institutional Effectiveness Officer, Dr. Dwayne Schmitz. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. All right, while we are pulling up tonight's presentation, thank you, Superintendent Kingsley, for sharing about tonight. That is just one of many engagement sessions that we will talk about tonight, and we do have quite a few for our Spanish and Arabic speaking families as well. So with that said, attached to the board packet is an overview of or is a document that is our strategic plan framework draft, emphasis on the draft. We will also be updating our website, so it's easily found on our district website as well, so everyone can see what we'll actually be talking through at our community engagement sessions. So I want to take a little time just to remind us of what our goal is in trying to create this draft and what our goal is in going out into our community sessions. And I'm excited to have Dwayne here as well, and also Madeline for pulling up tonight's presentation. Thank you. So tonight, we're going to talk briefly about just an update on where we are in the process. Again, go over in more detail our actual draft framework, and more importantly, talk about the community engagement sessions where we're able to gather input from all of our different areas that make up this great community. And we'll finish with next steps.
All righty. So we've seen this information before, and we realize that the meaning of this slide is just that there's a lot of great work going on in PSD. Not all of it is as aligned as we would like it to be, and we think we can be more effective in delivering services for our students and our families if we have a little more alignment. So a big goal of the strategic plan is to provide that kind of alignment toward stronger and better student outcomes. So consistency is consistency and alignment. You know, it cuts across the strategic plan plus other improvement planning efforts, the monitoring report, the UIP, and so on. But the strategic plan will have that 3 to 5 year range. It'll include some operations components as well as achievement, growth, and the things we typically think of as student outcomes. And so hopefully with the work of the community being highly engaged in this collaborative process, we'll land on an optimal 3 to 5 year plan. We kind of have hit this portion before with regard to step 1 was analysis, and we landed on some priority performance challenges. And then we moved on to putting together the draft framework, which is now we're moving into the stage of the many different community and collaboration opportunities to kind of add some more definition to that draft and to respond to that draft. I don't know if Marlene, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. So as Dwayne mentioned, we're at step 3, community engagement, and I just wanted to remind everyone that after we go through all of our community engagement sessions, which will take us pretty much through October, so we can hit all of our feeders as well as some targeted listening sessions as well. We will take that information back. Our strategy teams will look at that data, make whatever adjustments or revisions that might be necessary, and then we're going to push a revised strategic plan framework draft version 2 out to the community via survey. And so we are on track to have that survey go out sometime in November. And we've been working with our principals to make sure that we are starting to plan for time for our students in particular to be able to take the survey during class time as well. It only takes about 15 to 20 minutes, but we want to make sure we are getting the feedback from those who we are truly here to serve. So let's take a look at the framework draft. So here are the different components of the framework draft that you're going to see in just one moment, or if you've already clicked into the packet, you have that there. We have our desired student outcomes that align with each of our 4 priority areas that you see here, being literacy, mental health and belonging, graduate with options, and safety. Next, you'll see in orange is the strategic objectives, and those were created based on a SWOT analysis, and they really embody what our aspirations are based on what our teams, our respective teams have identified as being areas that we definitely need to improve and might be possible root causes. So our strategic objectives are our goals. After the goals, you'll see in the framework draft a gray section that are our specific strategies. They will be phased in our final framework and when it's no longer a draft. But right now what you will see and we'll show shortly is that our strategies for each of these areas truly are the what. So what do we need to do in order to reach the goals that are in orange? What you won't see tonight, and it is natural to want to jump right to the how we're going to do it, you won't see the action plans yet because it's important that we calibrate and make sure we have the right goals and the right what we need to do to reach those goals. And that information is the purpose of our community engagement sections and our survey. After our survey is complete, we will go back to our respective strategy teams that actually encompass about 50 to 60 people across the district, across school leadership, district leadership, representatives of some of our different organizations. And they will go back and then they will help determine which one of the strategies or which ones of the strategies in each of these areas need to be phased and who needs to serve on the action teams for each of the strategies. So that will be exciting, but I just wanted to share that the how is not in the framework draft, but it will be forthcoming. Lastly, our operations, human resources, IT, information technology, finance, communications, you may not see that explicitly in the goals and the what. You will see that more than likely in the action plans when we get to that step, because there's no way we can talk about the how we need to do some things without talking operationally what different departments might need to do in order for those action plans to be successful. So here's our plan. It is a lot. It is a lot. And we will be sure, once again, just to have this on our district webpage where you can blow it up, make it bigger. And we do have it in Spanish and Arabic as well. And we will be sure to have some at our front lobby as well. So if anyone wants to come get it on really large paper, it will be there for you. But with our strategic plan framework draft, as you can see here, it is a lot, because we have a lot to do, and we know that, and we know that we can't do it all at one time, that we have to be just as strategic as we were in creating our goals and our strategies, as well as in our implementation of those. So I will just briefly highlight a couple of things in each of these 4. So with our desired student outcomes, as I mentioned before, these are our goals that higher than our goals. This is the outcomes that we are looking for in each of our 4 areas. So they're in order 1 to 4, and they actually align with our 4 different priority areas. As we take a look at our first priority area, literacy, I just want to point out one more thing to be able to navigate the document. In the orange, our goals, our objectives, you'll see that they're numbered 1, 2, and 3. And in our strategies, which is the what in gray, they correlate to the goals that they apply to. So when we look at goal number 1 for literacy, 1A and 1B tells us what we need to do to accomplish the goal for objective number 1 in orange. As we look at this, we have quite a few initiatives, and I just want to highlight that much of the work here we've already started doing and will continue to do. The purpose of having this here, and even when we get to the phasing stage, is to really think about what are we going to put our focus on for literacy, which aspects, which of the strategies will we put our focus on so we can achieve our desired student outcome. The next one is mental health and belonging, and I'm very excited for our mental health presentation of services that will be happening right after we're complete up here. But our mental health and belonging really identifies 3 goals that I think that we heard tonight and our resolution, as well as what you'll hear coming up after this particular presentation. These 3 goals are important, and I think that the what we need to do to get there is equally important. So as you take a look at what those different strategies are, please note that this might change after we go through with all of our community engagement sessions. We really want to make sure that we are hearing our students, our families, our community members, our partners to see, like, are we doing the right what, and do we have the right goals? Graduate with options. We talked about this a little in the spring before we finished out the school year. Again, the goals in orange, 1, 2, and 3, these are areas based on root cause analysis that our strategy team for our Graduate with Options priority felt that really captured what we needed to do as our goals, and the what's really capture how we achieve those goals. Again, as a reminder, and you'll hear me say this a lot, we know that this might change, particularly in this when we think about our community sessions, our student sessions, and our staff sessions. Do we have the right what? We know that we do way more than what is listed here, but we're really trying to be strategic in where we want to put our focus of attention and resources. And lastly, safety. Safety is incredibly important. And so for this particular priority, it is important to acknowledge not only our goal of, but our commitment to making sure that our kids are safe in their physical buildings, as well as their emotional well-being. And so you see that the strategies here, the what, capture, or attempts to capture, and we'll know more after the community engagement sessions, the what we need to do to reach that particular goal. So let's talk about those community engagement sessions, because board, we need your help. And for all that are listening, we need your help in spreading the word. We're so excited to have 55 of our Spanish-speaking families tonight, and we want even more at our additional community engagement sessions. Our sessions are grouped by staff and then by community members, and students are welcome and invited and encouraged to come as well in our feeder areas. And then, of course, we'll have a survey sent in November. I do just want to point out that our targeted groups that we'll have additional sessions with make up those that you see here, such as our PSD committees, our non-school-based staff, our employee associations, business community partners. We have on a total of about maybe 20 to 25 total engagement sessions from the community in the targeted sessions to make sure that we are reaching out and we are giving everyone ample opportunity to really be a part of this process. For our staff and community input sessions, our staff sessions will start at 4:30 to 6, and that will be by feeder areas that you see here. For our schools, for our Timnath and Wellington Middle High Schools, because their bell times are just a little bit different, those will start at 5 p.m. And we really need our staff to come out, staff, teachers, lunchroom workers, everyone. We do have some targeted sessions for those that help get our kids to and from school. So we do have some targeted sessions for our bus drivers so they can also give input. But we really want to see all of our staff come out, and we try to make it by feeder so it's most convenient. But anyone is invited to come to any of these sessions. So if a staff or community member misses their feeder date, they are more than welcome, and we want them to come to any date that works with their schedule. Once our staff and community sessions are complete, we'll have just about 30-minute transition time, and then we'll repeat this process with our community members. And those start at 6:30 at all of our feeders, and of course at our Timnath and Wellington Middle High Schools. Those will start at 7 p.m. We're excited to share with all of our staff and community the data of why we chose those different district priorities, as well as some other pieces of information to help them give us really thoughtful feedback. Everyone that attends the session will get these really large sheets of paper that have our strategic framework draft, and we will also have the framework draft. We'll also have interpreters, so all of our families can come to any session at all. So we will have interpreters there as well. So with that, let's see. Next steps. Last slide. Join us at the community sessions. We need your help. Get it out, share it on all of your socials and all the things. We have already sent out communication as a district, and we just ask that everyone just join in and help get the word out when our sessions are. I've talked about our comments and how we'll bring that back to our strategy teams. They'll make whatever necessary adjustments, as well as a survey that happens in November. And those results will be reviewed, and our strategy teams will make, once again, any types of changes that's needed. Please note, along the way, we'll make sure to keep the board informed so you can see all of those new revisions of the drafts and all of those pieces as well. Once we have that final framework, it's no longer a draft, it's the final version, our strategy teams will work with cabinet teams to help identify action teams for whatever strategies that will be phased for the 23-24 school year. Once again, we're not going to wait till the 23-24 school year to start the work, because much of this we're already doing, but that's when we're really focusing on whatever strategies are chosen for that first year. Those action plans should take place anywhere from February to March, where we'll have those, and then we'll be presenting those to the board, and everything will be made public. All of our action plans, all of our presentations, all of that will be on our district website. That's a lot of information, but it's a lot of goodness. So I would love to open up to answer any questions that you might have, board members.
Are there questions from the board? Nate?
I just wanted to thank you for all the work and encourage everyone, as Marlena said, to attend the community engagement sessions. This is really important work, so thank you.
Thank you.
Kristen?
I just want to say that yesterday, Jess and I had the pleasure of being one of the test cases targeted cases, sorry, the targeted groups with the kids in the Student Advisory Council, and they just ate it up. And you got a lot of feedback.
I'm sure.
From the 10 students that were there, you got a lot of feedback. But really do want to encourage people to come. That really is what we're doing, is trying to get all kinds of feedback, so that, if we hear something multiple times from multiple groups from, multiple dates, and it's not in our strategic plan, obviously we've missed something. So we really want to make sure that the community is involved in this, and that what we're hearing is what is then in the plan. So please come out and join us. It actually is a lot of fun.
It is. Thank you.
So I'll say ditto to all that, and I'm looking forward to attending these as well. And With that, I think we thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And for all the work that you're doing, and we look forward to hearing updates as they occur.